Hi friends, welcome to a new video in Python series. So in this video I am going to explain how you can add test dependency in your Pytest Selenium automation framework. So there are many methods available to add the dependency in Selenium Python, right? But here I am explaining you one of the best efficient method to add the dependency. So let's go to the video. So let me create few methods. First method, test method 1, and we can give some print statement, print of method 1 is called. And let me duplicate this function. Let me create one more method, test method 2, and we can change it to method 2 is called, right? And now let us run this file. So both the methods should be run. 2 passed, right? So we got 2 results, 2 print statements. We can also run this script from the terminal. Let me run it through terminal. So we got this print statement, test method 1 and test method 2 in the console. Now what we want to do? We want to add the dependency. So to apply the dependency, you need to add one of the package called Pytest-dependency. For that you can go to File, Settings, in Python interpreter. You need to install one particular package from here. So before installing, make sure that you are selecting the correct interpreter, whatever is there in the your run edit configuration, right? So the same interpreter should be you have selected in this settings Python interpreter, right? So if you are having any confusion with the interpreter feature, so I have explained that in detail in my Python video, how to set up the virtual environment. So you can refer that. I will give you the link in the description. So let me click on this plus icon, and we can search for Pytest-dependency and select that, and we can click on this install package. So it should get installed. So it is successfully installed. We can see the message. We can close this pop-up. Now let me add the dependency to test method 2. So what is the dependency concept? So if I put test method 2 is dependent on test method 1, that means test method 2 will be executed only if test method 1 is passed, right? If test method, in case if test method 1 gets failed, then test method 2 should get skipped. That is how the test dependency concept should work, right? So let me add one dependency for test method 2. We can add a dependency by using Pytest marker, Pytest.mark. You can say dependency. For that you need to import your Pytest. So first line you can add import Pytest in your file. Okay, so now inside that what you need to give? You need to give depends is equal to, you need to pass the method name. So on which method we have to make it dependent. So I want to make it dependent on test method 1, right? So you can give that method name inside this bracket. So Pytest.mark.dependency of depends is equal to and method name. Here we need to note one more thing. So here test method 2 is dependent on test method 1, right? So even for test method 1 we should add this marker, which is Pytest.mark.dependency. Otherwise the test fail, because the test method result in the sense passed or failed. So whether the test method 1 is passed or failed, that result status will be updated only if we give test Pytest mark dependency. Okay, so if it is not given, it result won't get to the test method 2 and it won't be dependent on test method 1. Okay, we will not get the expected result in the output. So we should add Pytest mark dependency even for the test method 1, but inside bracket you can just leave it. You don't have to fill anything. Now let us run this file. So what we are expecting here, we are expecting both the test cases to be passed, right? Test method 1 and test method 2 are passed. Now in order to confirm that the dependency is working, what we can do, we can explicitly fail this test method 1. Okay, so let me add some assert condition and let me fail this test, let me make test method 1 fail. Okay, so let me add assert 1 plus 2 is equal to 4. So that it should fail, right? Okay, now let me run this script. So in this case, what we are expecting, test method 1 should get fail and test method 2 should get skipped, right? Because test method 2 is dependent on test method 1. Since test method 1 is failed, test method 2 should get skipped. So the dependency is working in the expected behavior, right? Here you can see in the console and the log, test method 1 is called, which is fail, and test method 2 is depends on test method 1, so that is skipped. Now, so far we have created all these test methods without using the class, right? So let's put all these methods inside the class and let's see if there is any change in the behavior of dependency. So let me create a class test depends. And we need to change something. We need to pass the self keyword, right, for the methods. Now let us run this file. So we are expecting 1 fail, 1 skip. It is working fine, right? Now let me change it to 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. In this case, what we are expecting, we should get both the test cases passed. But what is happening? See, in the result, we are getting 1 test case is passed, but 1 test case is skipped. Even though the test method 1 is passed, test method 2 is showing as skipped. So there is something wrong, right? So we have to change our functionality, the depends feature here a little bit when you are using the methods inside a class. Okay. Here we need to pass the class name also along with this method name. So since our class name is test depends, you can pass the method class name here. You can add the class name like test depends and put double colon and then the method name. And now let's run the script again. See, here we got the expected result, right? Both the test cases are passed. So this is one thing that you need to make a note, like if you are creating the functions inside a class, that's usually we do, right? So you need to pass the class name as well along with the method name in the test dependency. Now let me change it back to assert 1 plus 2 is equal to 4 and let's confirm the other cases also working. Yes, it is working, right? So both the cases are working with the by using the class name. Okay, so now let me create one more test method. Let's go into advanced. Let me create one more test method 3, and let us put one print statement also there. Now let us run the script. So what we are expecting here, there should be 1 fail, 1 skipped and 1 passed test case, right? Yes, we got the expected result, 1 failed, 1 passed and 1 is skipped. Here I will show you one more interesting feature. If you look at the console in detail, you can see these test cases are executed in the occurrence order, right? So whatever order you have specified in your file, so which order we have specified, method 1 first, then method 2 and then method 3, right? So all these methods are executed in the return order. But if you are using some other dependency feature in Selenium Python like Pytest depends, there is one other feature Pytest depends instead of dependency. So you can see all the skip test cases, which means all the dependent test cases, test cases which is depend on the other test cases. Those test cases will be executed only at the end of the test suite. So all the independent test cases will be executed first, then only after that other test cases, means that dependent test cases will be executed. So in some cases it will cause confusion because we want the test cases to be executed in the return order, right? So for that you can use you can go ahead with this feature only, Pytest dependency. Okay. Now let me change it back to assert 1 plus 2 equal to 3. So in this case all the tests should get passed, all the 3 are passed, right? Now let me create one new class test new, and let's see how we can create dependency across classes, between classes, right? So let me write a new test method 4, and we can give a print statement also. Method 4 is called, and let us run the script now. So in this case all the 4 should get passed. Now let's add a dependency for test method 4. Let me copy the same line. So it should be dependent on test method 1 as well. Even if you run this same thing, nothing will change. Yes, all the 4 are passed. Now we can make it fail. Test method 1 should fail. Now what is happening? 1 failed, 1 passed, and 2 are skipped, right? So you can see method 1 is called, which is failed. Method 2 is skipped because it is depending on test method 1, and method 3 is passed. Method 4 is skipped because it is again depending on test method 1, right? Now let me change it to test method 3 instead of test method 1, and let me revert it back 1 plus 2 equal to 3, so that all other tests should pass. Now let's see what will happen. What we are expecting here, all the methods should pass, right? But what we are getting, 3 are passed but 1 is skipped. Why 1 is skipped? In the console, if you look at, you can see this test method 4 is depending on test method 3, whereas test method 3 is passed. So what is happening? This is what I mentioned initially. We need to provide the marker pytest mark.dependency. If you don't provide that, it won't be getting that final result status of test method 3. So what is happening? Test method 4 is also getting skipped, which is depending on the test method 3. So if you are making a dependency for any method, you need to give dependency marker for that method too. Let us rerun this file. So this time all 4 tests should pass, right? So all the 4 are passed. Okay, now let me put one assert condition for test method 3 also. Assert 1 plus 2 equal to 3. Let's run it again. Again 4 should pass. And now let's make it to some other value. Okay, this time what we are expecting, 1 is fail. We can go to the console to check the detail. Okay, method 1 is passed, method 2 is passed, method 3 is failed, method 4 is skipped because it is depending on test method 3. Now let me explain you one other interesting feature. So here how we have added this package Pytest dependency. What we did, we went to that file settings, then Python interpreter, and we added the Pytest dependency package from here, right? So what is the problem of adding the package from here? So this dependency will be available only to our local system, right? So if you are maintaining some central repository like GitHub or Bitbucket or something, this dependency should be available to all the members in your team, right? So it is not like practical that everyone has to install this package from this settings interpreter. For that, what we can do, we can go with the one of the feature called requirements.txt. So whatever the package you needed in your project, you can just mention that in your requirements.txt, and then you can execute that file, right? So all this all the packages should be automatically installed when you run that file. So how can we achieve that? So all these things I have already explained in the other video, that I how to set the virtual environment interpreter. So again I can provide that link in the description, you can refer that, but here again I'll give you an overview. So we can just create a requirements.txt file here, but before that let me uninstall this package Pytest dependency from here. So it has been uninstalled. See, after uninstalling, if we run this file, what will happen? We got some other result, right? Which is not expected. There is no skip test case. We are expecting one skip test case also there, right? Okay, now let's consider the requirements.txt file. So I have already one file in my project, requirements.txt. It is in the project root structure. You can just open that. And let's add the package name, which is pytest-dependency. Now, in order to install that requirement, what we can do, we can go ahead with a command called pip install -r requirements.txt, so that it will install all the requirements that you have specified in the requirements.txt. Here we have only just one requirement, so it will be downloaded. You can see successfully installed Pytest dependency. There is one other warning that you are using older version of pip. If you want, you can update that. Okay. Now, if you look at if you go to the file settings interpreter, you will be able to see that Pytest dependency package here. And also let's Make sure that you are selecting the correct interpreter, otherwise you won't be able to see that dependency here. Okay, so this is how you can add the requirements.txt file, and you can install all the requirements. Now let us run our script again. Let's see we are getting the expected result or not. Yes, we are getting the expected result, which is 1 failed, 2 passed and 1 skipped. Great, right? So you should always go with the requirements.txt file concept. I hope you have liked this video. If so, please don't forget to click the like button, and we will see with some other interesting content in our next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. Thank you.